And Alan Chocta and Rabbit, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Chair. To ask the Minister for Children and Youth Affairs to provide an update on the Affordable Childcare Scheme, in particular her department's efforts to build an ICCT structure and to make the scheme more accessible to parents using childminders.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy. The new Affordable Childcare Scheme will open to applications in October of 2019, with payments flowing from November of 2019. Its launch will mark a milestone in our quest to transform Ireland's childcare system from one of the most expensive in the world to one of the best. Positive progress continues to be made in the development of the legislative, administrative and ICT infrastructure for the scheme. And under the auspices of the Childcare Support Act 2018, detailed secondary legislation and policy guidelines are being prepared. I also hope to sign regulations in the coming weeks which will provide, for the first time, for the registration of school-age childcare services. This will allow these services to participate in the new scheme from the start. With regard to the ICT, our IT development contractor, Codec, is busy working with officials from DCYA and Pubble to develop the system on schedule and in advance of the scheme's October launch. A comprehensive awareness campaign for parents and the public will commence in the spring, alongside training and information supports for childcare providers and other key stakeholders. The Affordable Childcare Scheme will be open to all registered childminders, and I'm committed to publishing a child-minding action plan in the near future. That plan will contain short, medium, and long-term goals for the sector, setting out steps to move towards a wider regulation, support, and professional development of childminders. In the short term, it will include actions to support the childminders to register and to participate in the Affordable Childcare Scheme. Budget 2019 allocated €500,000 to create a team of childminding development officers to support the registration of childminders with TUSLA and to help them to upskill to the required regulatory standards to be introduced in the coming years. It also provided for significant enhancements to the Affordable Childcare Scheme, which will ensure that an even greater number of families than now will benefit from the scheme once launched.
Thank you, Minister. I couldn't keep writing because I have so many questions to ask. It was a great answer. I do appreciate that. But you've left me with a number of questions that I'm going to ask you to expand on. I want you to expand in relation to the school-age commitments. And the legislative process, where exactly is that at? Because my understanding was we were to expect that before the end of this year, possibly in the House. When will we expect it? I assume it will be on next year's legislative programme, but at what stage is it at, and how can we support it? The action regarding the registered childminders and the €500,000, where are we in regarding to the recruitment process of those development workers? And finally, in relation to the ICT programme, and you mentioned the company that's delivering it and the awareness programme. Are we on target at this stage to ensure that that awareness programme will be up and running for the spring? Because, as I said to you, I think this is going to take time for people to get involved in it and to understand it. There's no point in the last week in August having it up and running.
Minister.
Okay, thank you, Deputy. Thank you very much for those questions. And I think in relation to your first questions, I think what the information that I have in terms of the school age process is that the regulations are being worked on, and that as I understand it, those are on target. And as I said, so that by the time when we do fully launch that school age, the Affordable Childcare Scheme, those groups or providers that offer services in that context will be able to be included in it. The second thing is in relation to your asking about legislation. I think I indicated that secondary legislation is being developed. I need to come back to you in terms of exactly what the time frame is in that regard. And in relation to, so I'm very happy to do that, Deputy, just don't have that information in front of me. But in relation to the ICT program too, I can say that, you know, they have a strict formal project management methodology. There's an executive board, a project board, an ICT subgroup, the Department of Employment Affairs and Social Protection subgroup, and a project operating team. We have 2 dedicated full-time project managers that are in place, one in Pobble, one in DCYA, and they are working on the project, and it's divided into 69 work streams currently. And as I understand it, that's moving forward on target, and that's what we hope to proceed
Final
with.
comment, Deputy President?
Yes, Minister. I am just wondering still in relation to the $500,000 and the development officers, how many have we started the recruitment process on that? And if so, how many are we hoping to recruit into it? Is it going to be in the county, city and county childcares? Is it through that format you're hoping to deliver it? And if that's the case, is it going to be nationwide? So is that, like, I know one of my first questions I would have asked you is how many registered childminders have we? And I know that in some counties we've none at all, which would not be a true reflection, I would think. So what is the honeypot to encourage as many childminders to come into the fold? Because I think we can only have a true reflection of where childcare is at by bringing the childminders into the fold and encouraging them to participate as opposed to scaring them with bureaucracy, which is what I think they're afraid of.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy. I guess, as I've said, the creation of a team of childminding development officers, that's money that's been allocated for Budget 2019. So, as I understand it, it is on target in order to recruit the numbers of childminding development officers, that they will be available through the county and childcare committees. Again, I could come back to you in terms of you asking a question in terms of numbers. I can come back to you in relation to that. But the intention is that it would be nationwide, and as we have the county and childcare committees, that is the way that we connect in with our providers, and that I think that is an appropriate structure. You know, in relation to how we're encouraging in the short term that the childminders register and can be ready, I think, you know, one aspect would be is also we are ensuring that there are additional monies in order to support if they need any requirement to take that level 5 and to be qualified for that to engage, there is a fund for that, as well as then I think some additional smaller funds to support the accommodation in the context of where they offer the childminding.
Michael, to now